back to the channel, everyone, and welcome to the first disc battle of 2020. Please, in the comments below, I want to know if you like this new format for these disc comparison videos. So for today's disc battle, we're going to be taking a look at two popular drivers from Discraft, the Vulture and the Anax. So jumping on in to take a look at the profiles, the Anax, the wing on the Anax tends to kind of have that downward nose angle as you see, versus the Vulture, that wing nose is actually pointed a little bit more up. And even though the rim depth is the same on both, the Anax does feel a little bit deeper in the hand than the Vulture. It's also worth noting that even though these are both speed 10s, the Vulture's rim width is a 1.8 centimeter to the Anax's 1.9. Let's get out to the field and compare the flight paths of both of these discs. When thrown on a hyzer, the Vulture, as you can see, it wanted to hold nice and straight and then hyzer out. It didn't want to flip up, or it didn't have any inkling of turning over. It just wanted to hold straight and hyzer. Very similarly, the Anax holds the exact same line. Even when thrown on the same hole, you can actually see that the two discs almost mirror each other's flight perfectly, but the Anax has a little bit harsher fade at the end, and that was something that even with the flight numbers you can definitely see. The Anax had that fade of 3 to the Vulture's 2, which in the wind gives the Anax a slight advantage over the Vulture. When throwing the discs flat, you can actually see a little bit more noticeable difference in the flight. The first, I'd say about 50% of the flight is exactly the same between the two, but it's that last 50%. The Vulture has a little bit more turn in the mid-flight than the Anax, and the Anax has just that little bit harsher fade, that little more stability. So it actually makes, in my opinion, the Vulture a much better flex-style disc. And when thrown on an Anhyzer line, you can definitely tell the difference between the two discs and their flights. You can see that both are going to want to hold the Anhyzer line for about the first 70% or so of the flight, but the Anax is going to come out of the turnover just a hair sooner. So the Vulture, for at least a player of my arm speed, is going to be a further flying disc, but maybe in the wind it's not going to be as predictable as the Anax. But that also means that the Vulture is going to have more distance potential than the Anax for players with medium to slower arms. Now let's go ahead and take a look at a couple shots side by side where you can really see the difference in the flight. You can see that the Anax holds more that arcing hyzer, whereas the Vulture has a little bit more mid-flight turn to it. Again, on the forehand, both hold similar lines out of the hand, but the Vulture carries a little bit more to the right before hyzering out, and the Anax has that much harsher finish. When it comes to plastics, the Anax is only in ESP, whereas the Vulture is in a wide variety of plastics, giving it the advantage. If you want an overstable Vulture that flies like an Anax, get the Austin Turner Tour Series ESP Glow Swirl. Flies very overstable, while plastics like the Z Fly Die tend to have a lot more understability to it. While for the Anax, you're looking for the flatter ones, as they do tend to fly just a little bit more overstable. Alright, so now the verdict on which disc I think is better between these two. For true to flight, I'd say it's pretty even. They both hold very true to their flight numbers, with the Anax being just a little bit more overstable, as we saw with those flight numbers, so definitely the Anax was just a tick more overstable. So how replaceable are they if you were to ever lose one? Well, I feel again this is even. They both, if you're getting the same plastic, you know exactly what you're going to be getting. And speaking of plastics, well, definitely Vulture gets the nod here, as it comes in a wide variety of plastics, which then leads us into the range of different shots you can hit with these discs. The Vulture, again, because of those different plastic types, it can be a little bit more understable or a little more overstable. So you can definitely find the one that works best for you. So both of these drivers are amazing and work great for different groups of people, but the Vulture, for me, clearly is the front runner here because of how many different plastic types it comes in. So you can find a Vulture that works for your arm speed. Faster arms will like the Austin Turner ESP. For slower arms, you'll like kind of the lighter weight Z's. And ESP, Titanium, any of those are going to work really well for players with medium to faster arm speeds. Alright everyone, thank you all so much for watching. As always, please like this video, please subscribe if you haven't already, and also share so that way more people can see this. Thank you Discraft, thank you Riverside Pro Shop, thank you the community. Until next time everyone, keep banging those chains.